Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another Speed Build Saturday. Today we're building in Newcrest and I wanted to go with more of like a craftsman vibe for this house, so I'll actually throw up the picture that I was looking off of right now. And as I'm sure you can guess, I did in fact draw this one up on the graph paper as well, and thank goodness that this one isn't like the vampire house, and the roofing actually worked out really well and very easily for me on this build, thank goodness. With the final piece of the roof done, I'm going to throw a couple of columns down back here before I go ahead and swing back around to the front porch and start adding like the doors and windows and stuff like that. And with those cute little roof pieces above the double windows, I can finally paint this bad boy orange because Halloween's right around the corner and I just could not resist building a house to match. And then after I laid down that foundation, I actually decided that the windows were a little too dark with everything else. So I changed them to white, so it ends up being an orange, white, and black kind of color scheme on the outside and on the inside too. But I mean, we'll get there when we get there. So on this back porch patio, I wanted to use a terrain paint at first, but the one I wanted to use wouldn't have ended up straight or looking nice, so I went with the cushiony concrete, and it ends up being a nice little space at the end. But moving along inside, I'm gonna go ahead and light this baby up before we can really start getting into it. And then it was about at this point with the living room that I decided I was going to double down and just make this whole bad boy in shades of orange, white, black, and other Halloween-y type colors. And honestly, I love how the house turns out. I was actually incredibly pleasantly surprised during this build at just how much orange stuff there was in this game to work with. And then this bathroom actually took me a second to figure out because I really wanted this corner shower right here, and I really like how it ends up looking at the end. It's kind of a funky shape, but you could, in theory, put 2 showers in there and they should both work just fine. And as I'm finally finishing up with the main bits of this bathroom, it actually ends up being one of my favorites I've ever really done, just because the layout is so different and it ends up really looking like a his and her master suite sort of bathroom to me. It reminds me a lot of like my grandma's bathroom when I was younger. Though I have to admit, I did put tile down in this one instead of the carpet that hers had. And I decided to move around the desk in the master bedroom to make space for a TV stand, and adding the master room TV, I remembered that the living room didn't have one yet, so once I get that one down exactly where I want it, I started adding plants and other sorts of clutter to this customized little TV stand that I made. And then finally moving along to the western wing of the house, I started on the bathroom for whatever reason, and this one ends up being a little bit, well, a lot of bit smaller than the master suite, but that's kind of what you're to expect, right? I mean, it's still plenty functional for the kids and for guests. Work on the west wing, she says. Ha, just kidding, back to the kitchen. And then here's a little cheat when it comes to kitchen islands. If you do the contiguous island all the way around, you actually can't put the oven there. But if you turn on bb.move objects and just make it nice and flush with the rest of the counter, you can actually flip it around and put your oven in there. And what have I been telling y'all? I just cannot stay away from these parenthood tiles. Am I finally about to be happy with the clutter situation and move on to the west wing like I said before? Ooh, it finally looks like it. And then for this bedroom, I'm envisioning like a teen staying in here, so I added in a computer desk, a customized little dresser, and a fish tank and a hobby board, so it's totally up to you what your sim does that lives in this room, but I left you plenty of space for them to grow into whoever they want to be. And now moving on to the children's bedroom, as I told you guys, I really decided to double down on this whole autumny sort of vibe. So this whole room ends up being shades of like red, orange, and yellow, and it ends up super colorful and bright, and I just love it so much in here. It looks so fun. And then these last three rooms are kind of like utility rooms. We're gonna end up with a mudroom / laundry room, a storage room, and then just sort of an everything do as you want sort of activity room that on the house I was looking at was supposed to be a garage, but I ended up changing it into this super useful space because, you know, we don't have cars in this game. And then I'm actually really glad that I had to repurpose this garage space into this do whatever you want activity space, because I know a lot of these big gaudy items just kind of end up in the backyard a lot of the time, and this room kind of alleviates that and leaves the outside looking nice and prim and proper. And for once I managed to keep my head on straight and finish the inside before I moved to the landscaping. But now that we're outside, I'm gonna go ahead, put down a nice big tree or two, probably just one, and then finally move into this little fenced in garden space that I wanted to use to line the front of the house. And then if you watch, I actually take down the foundation, because if you guys know, when you use a foundation, the plants just kind of hop up to the foundation level, and nobody wants that while they're trying to make a nice garden. And then with the little garden complete, I can put the foundation back up and the stairs back in, and I'm gonna flip around to the back and work on this combined porch and patio space and just kind of do it up so it's a nice space to have some company over, entertain, have a nice night out on the porch, and just enjoy a fall breeze. And then once I'm finally happy with this back outdoor space, I'm going to move along ahead and do some terrain paint just to make it look like the house actually has been sitting there for some time instead of just plopped down onto the ground. With all the paint done, I'm actually going to go ahead and hop into live mode and show you guys around on the tour. And here we are in live mode in Newcrest. This is actually the first build I'm going to make for a whole new Newcrest. But if we move in through the front door, we're actually going to run basically straight into the dining room table, which it is a little close to the door, I'll admit, but it should still all be functional and it looks really nice. But if we head out past the dining room table, we will enter into this nice big open area for the kitchen and the living room, which I just imagine nice family dinners for the holidays, and there's even space for a Christmas tree for once. I almost never remember to leave space for actual holiday get-togethers. But moving along, we're gonna go into the master suite, and I was honestly genuinely surprised with just how much orange there was to work with for this house, and I was really able to stick to the Halloween sort of color scheme pretty close. And this master suite doesn't just come with its own private bathroom, but it comes with a whole walk-in closet too, so you can have a nice relaxing bath and then get styling before you leave the house. And And then walking into the master bathroom, we've got this funky shaped shower, which like I said, you should be able to put a secondary shower in there and both Sims should be able to shower just fine. And then I decided to put the toilet in a separate room again just because it's way too convenient to have multiple Sims be able to use the same bathroom at once, and I just can't pass up the opportunity anymore. Moving at a snail's pace, we finally reached the western wing of the house, so we'll go ahead and take a peek into the teen's bedroom first. And this actually ended up being one of the darkest rooms in the house, but it's still really colorful, and I like all the different boards and things on the wall, especially the alien abduction skateboards. I just can't get over those. And then we're gonna go ahead and pop right into the children's bedroom, which on the opposite end of the spectrum is probably one of the lightest and brightest rooms in the house, which I just love the dichotomy there. And then there's actually one item in this room that I just fell in love with when I saw it. I saw this item and I went, oh my god, Fergie chest! And I just knew I had to use it. And then after we hit up this tiny bathroom, we can actually go back through the dining room, back through the kitchen, and then into the utility rooms that are in the house. And we're actually going to enter/exit through the mud room and laundry room. I can just imagine your child Sims playing in puddles of mud and mom screeching from the porch, "No, go through the mud room for the love of God!" And then after the laundry room, we actually have a little storage room at the end of the hall, and in here we've actually got the failed attempts of the beautiful garden that's out front and a little storage chest for all your collectible needs. Finally, moving on to the last room in the house, we enter the garage turned activity space, which has just about everything I could think of that still wasn't too big to put in here, so sorry, no telescope, but there's still plenty of room to put it in the backyard, even though I just said earlier that I did this to make it not ugly outside, but that's all right. Leaving the activity room, we can finally step outside onto the back porch where we've got a nice wicker couch and a big old grill to host a nice party with. We've got a cozy little picnic table and a bar that you can serve your friends drinks at, some horseshoes, and then the kids can always have a water balloon fight, go on the swings, and then I also put in this nice little garden area, and I believe that the bees should pollinate this entire area, but I'm not entirely sure. And that is everything, guys. This will be on the gallery as a pumpkin craftsman, so if you liked it, go ahead and leave a like down below, comment with what you'd like to see me build next, subscribe if you're new, and then as always, have a good day, and I'll see you later.